Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about the Goslins, John, Kate, and Colin. Not necessarily all eight, but just Colin. We're going to be talking about him today. So you guys, over the weekend, I had a busy weekend, really busy weekend, and the week didn't start out that great. But you know what? I'm still blessed, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, y'all. Satan is tempting me today. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to talk about how not even over the weekend, but Kate Gosselin has rejoined social media. She has started putting out videos over on her TikTok, and she's getting some backlash over this. Not only has Kate resurfaced, but Colin posted a video on his TikTok, a pretty heartbreaking video, and he's got a lot of positive comments in the comment section where he's responding to them. Kate is also responding to the backlash that she has gotten. And then yesterday, I see that John made a TikTok as well. He made a TikTok acknowledging that his ex-wife has blocked him on TikTok. So we're going to get into it. If you've clicked on this video, I assume you know who the Goslins are, but I'm just going to give you a quick rundown really quickly. So they were reality TV stars. Their show, John and Kate Plus 8, debuted in 2007 on TLC. This show followed John and Kate as they raised their very large family. They had twins, Maddie and Kara, and then they had sextuplets: Alexis, Hannah, Aiden, Colin, Leah, and Joel. Now, when the show came out, it was a huge success. It focused on the challenges and the chaos of them raising their 8 children. Um, and the world loved it. This was one of the earlier reality TV shows. It was kind of like the Osbournes. I mean, this was before the Kardashians. This was before all the reality TV shows that we have today. This is one of the first, right? And it was on the Learning Channel. But a lot of people took to the show because, I mean, you're watching this man and this wife raise 8 kids. And the wife, Kate, had this very strict, like, OCD mentality. She ruled with an iron fist, I guess you could say, even when it came to the little kids. She was very strict schedule. Everybody has to be on their P's and Q's. And she treated her husband, John, like he was one of the little kids necessarily. But the world fell in love with watching their family. In 2009, tensions between John and Kate became public because they were having some problems behind the scenes. They divorced that year. Kate retained primary custody of the 8 children, while John had visitation rights. The show was eventually rebranded Kate Plus 8. Now, here's the thing, that John was silenced for 10 years. Kate had the network, TLC, backing her because once they got a divorce, John no longer wanted to be on the show. He actually didn't even want to be on the show before they got a divorce. Like, that was something that he was talking about. He was like, I don't want to be on the show. Like, I'm tired of the show. Oh my goodness, Lulu, I just saw that. I am so sorry. I'm sending you prayers. I just saw that, Lulu. I'm so sorry. But he started feeling like the show was, they got backlash over it. He just felt like we don't need to be on the show. And he started voicing that. And him and Kate ended up getting divorced. But what he disclosed in a documentary that was done on Vice, Dark Side of the 2000s, he disclosed that he and Kate remained living together for a little bit, even after they were pretty much separated, but they lived together because the network wanted them to stay together, pretend like everything was well. The network even paid for them to renew their vows. And when really things were not well, but they renewed their vows. And when the season aired of them renewing their vows, in reality, they had already split and had been split for a minute, and he was dating someone else. Well, then paparazzi caught him out with the girl that he was dating as the show is airing, them celebrating their, renewing their vows. Like, there was 10-year anniversary. So he was labeled a cheater, and the network did not correct it. Kate never came out to correct it. Kate never come out to say, actually, we've been split up. The renewal of the vows thing wasn't even legitimate. Like, we tried it, didn't work, but we were having issues before them, and we've been single. Like, we've been separated. She never come out to disclose that. and to tell the truth. But whenever he decided to step away, the network made him sign a 10-year gag order. And they also offered him like $2 million to stay with Kate and continue filming because the show was such a hit. People loved it. And they didn't want to change anything. They didn't know how the show would carry on if, John wasn't there, if they divorced. So they offered him like $2 million to stay in the marriage, to stay living there. And he was like, I'm not doing it. They then had him sign, a gag order to where he couldn't even speak for 10 years. So when he was being labeled this cheater, he couldn't come out to really say anything because he was in this gag order. Um, Now he got visitation with the children, but like I said, Kate retained custody of the kids. Now, a couple years later, the Collin situation pops up. Around 2016, Kate reveals on Kate Plus 8 that she had placed Collin in a residential facility for what she described as a behavioral and special needs facility for behavioral and special needs issues. She did not publicly specify the details. And during the show, people were asking, like, where's Collin? Colin's not around on the show. She finally, while doing press, said, like, he has some issues. I had to send him off. So yeah, he's not, the NDA or the gag order may have been in the contract before and he may have not known it. That could be possible that he was under a gag order before, or it could have been possible for him to get out of his contract to know. Actually, that's what I think it was, is he was in a contract to continue filming and he did not want to. So they were like, the only way you'll get out of filming is if you sign this NDA, gag order, whatever. So to carry on, she disclosed this information. Now, behind the scenes, John would go and eat lunch with the kids at school. And he goes one day and he notices Colin's not here. And he's like, where's Colin? And none of the kids knew. They're all like, hmm, hmm. So he goes to the counselor and he's like, where's Colin? Colin's not enrolled in school anymore. Kate will not give him an answer of where Colin is. Kate has TLC's money backing her. She has TLC's lawyers paying for everything concerning the divorce and helping her with Colin. This is per what Colin, Hannah, and John all discussed on the documentary Dark Side of the 2000s. They all said this. So I'm not saying this is completely accurate. I'm just telling you guys what they said. So John said the counselor could not tell him any more than, Colin's been pulled out. Like, we don't know. He doesn't go here anymore. He tried to get in touch with Kate. Kate would not tell him. He went to the courts to try to find out. Could not find anything out as far as where Colin was. Now, it says here, reports indicate Kate did not tell John or even the rest of the family exactly where Colin was, or that she had made arrangements for him to live away from home. But clearly the kids knew that he was not living at home because he wasn't at home. According to John, Colin, and we do have the proof, he only found out about Colin's location when Colin secretly wrote a letter to his dad, written in crayon, asking for help. And Colin was in this facility for a year and a half, and Kate visited him one time. And this is documented as well. The facility documented that Kate only came one time. Kate has stated this as well. When people ask, like, why didn't you visit your son? She was like, that was the recommendation of his therapist and his doctor that I don't visit. So, but because he had been there for a year and a half, he had friends, and his friends would get visits from their parents. So he wrote a letter in crayon and he got it out to his friend to get to his parent and said, can you please get this to my dad? And this is the letter here. It says, and this is written 6/21, 2017. Dear Dad, I'm not trying to trick you, but I still love you. I told Mom I want to live with you, but she said no. But right, she can't choose for me. I'm old enough now. I'm your son, not hers. She was abusive to me after I left your house. I'm sorry. Take this to court because, and that's all blurred out. You're my dad, my savior. Please help me and let me meet Colleen. I'm counting on you to get me out of here. Daddy, I love you. Save me. And he gives the address of where he was and a phone number. And he says, please come fast. I love you. Help me. Bye. So that was a letter that he snuck out through a friend to get to his dad. And thankfully, the friend gave it to their parents and they found John and got the letter to him. Now, he was able to go visit Colin, but he still couldn't just get him out. He had to fight through the courts. And once again, John's words is that it took him about $1 million in legal fees fighting to get him out and then fighting for custody of Colin. He was finally awarded custody of Colin in 2018. Now, Hannah, when she found out where Colin was, she left her mom's as well. When she found out, they didn't know, like the other kids had no idea where he was. So when she found out, she was like, I'm not living with mom anymore. So she also moved in with her dad. And John took on Colin and Hannah full time. Now, Colin has not seen his brothers and sisters outside of Hannah in about 7 years. Him and Hannah, they're very close with each other. John has stated publicly that the other children have been estranged from Colin and Hannah since the custody changes. So, Kate returns to TikTok and she's getting some backlash. And well, okay, so he was in there for a year and a half and nobody would tell him where he was. So Colin was in there for a year and a half. John found out that he was taken out of school because so the kids would go to John's house and he would go eat lunch with him. Where he realized that Colin was not there was he went to eat lunch with him one day and Colin was not there, but nobody would give him answers. And according to him, Kate's lawyers, they're paid by TLC and they're fine with keeping this. Like they're actively trying to keep this from John. Like he according to John, he tried. He looked for him. He asked Kate, he asked other people, do you know where he is? And nobody would give him this information. He went to the courts, but Kate had like primary custody. So it was a big thing to where, according to him, nobody would tell him where he was. And even through the courts, he could not get answers. Now, so here is what Colin posted on his TikTok. It is very heartbreaking. All right, it says born to be a team, us against the world. And the song that's playing with it is an Adele song, very like sad song. So born to be a team, us against the world. Down here it says forced apart, pitted against each other, all the fame and money in the world. But what about kids being kids? I will always love them more than anything. The tears I've shed behind closed doors, thinking about the memories we could have shared. I love you guys. So once again, born to be a team, us against the world. And it's here, him with all his siblings. And then he says, nope, go back. Go back. Why did you do that? All right, Forrest, why does it keep skipping so fast? Oh my goodness. I want to pause it. Why can't we pause it? Forced to do it alone. Nope. Okay, you know what? I have the picture. Hold on, just give me a minute because I don't know why it's literally, I can pause it right here. Can't pause it in the other one. Just give me a second. I have the picture. Let me get it transferred over to my computer. You know what? I've had this problem with this before. With trying to pause TikToks and like they won't pause for some reason. What is up with that? Why don't they pause? All right, bear with me. I gotta get it transferred over to my computer. Did anybody else ever have this issue trying to pause them? Am I tripping or what? All right. Maybe this will work. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Let's see if you guys can see this. All right. Born to be a team, us against the world. Let's see if this is going to work for me. Yes, forced to do it alone and wonder every day what our lives could have looked like. So that's his post. He got so, like the people in the comment section were just like, you know, we're sorry. We're sorry you had to go through that. Maybe someday we can all be together again. Love you. That's what his dad said. No, you guys can't see that. Never mind. Oh, life. Life has just been kicking me in the butt lately. Yeah, I'm really curious. Why can't we pause TikToks? Is that like a now you can't pause TikToks because they want you to watch it a million times? All right. So John said maybe someday we can all be together again. I love you. And Colin says, I hope so. I really do. Love you too. Those kids are so controlled by their mother. It's Stockholm syndrome at this point. I hope they see things from another perspective sooner than later. Hang in there, Colin. You're doing great. You've grown into a wonderful young man. I read a quote that said if siblings don't talk, it's because of a toxic mom. You are never the problem. And he did like some of these. I'm so glad you have Hannah. As a mother, my biggest worry is that my children won't have each other's back as adults. I hope that your siblings will reach out to you and your sister again. And he says, I can't wait to have kids and teach them the importance of siblings. I tell my friends who have siblings to always value their siblings and hold each other close. Aw. Siblings should never feel like they have to choose sides of their parents. Parents should encourage sibling relationships. You are a child against an adult. You deserve a voice. He hearted that one. My brother twin and I don't speak anymore because of our own mom. Praying for you. I know exactly how you feel. He said, I'm so sorry. It's so hard to even begin to understand why a parent would want to separate and pit their kids against each other. It literally makes no sense. No sense. I'm sorry you had to go through this. So he's hearting comments. He's responding to some of them. You got your own family with us, bro. Love you, bro. I can always count on you to be there. Not your fault. Very proud of you for pushing through and showing up for yourself to become who you are today. It's only up from here. It's amazing watching you become you, Colin. Love you, doll. Oh, thank you so much. Do you still talk with Hannah? I want the tea or anything. Just hoping you. Oh, I don't want the tea or anything. Just hoping you still have one sibling on your side. And he says, yes. I just saw her today. She was worried her car wouldn't pass inspection, so I was looking at it for her. She's so funny, and I love her so much. It makes my day whenever I see her. But we're busy. We're both busy with work, school, etc. So, yeah, like I said, he's responding to some of these comments. All right, now he got a lot of good feedback. There were a couple of people in there that was like, "You were the issue. You were the problem." What are you looking for? Shoes. They're hooked on the side. You found it. You found them. Okay. There were there were a couple of comments that was like, "You were the issue," But he was 12 when she sent him off, and according to him, she put him in the basement and zip tied him. And Hannah has even talked about this on Dark Side of the 2000s about how Colin was separated from them. She was like, he couldn't eat with us, he couldn't play with us. Like she always had him separated from us. So I mean, if he was causing like these major problems to where like he was in timeout, I mean, I guess I could understand that, but why wouldn't Hannah remember that? Like, why wouldn't she remember like, yeah, Colin was, he was a handful. I remember, him always giving mom a run for her money. And that's why he was separated from us. But instead, she's like, I don't know. He was just always separated from us. He couldn't eat with us. He couldn't play with us. Like, and when Hannah found out that he had been sent to a residential facility and that's where he had been, she was like, no, I don't know where they thought he was. And maybe they just didn't ask questions. But when she found out, she was like, I'm moving in with dad. Now, we're going to look over at Kate's. Let's see.
Hi guys, I get this question.
This was one of Kate's first videos, kind of really coming back to TikTok.
Hi guys, I get this question a lot, so I just wanted to come on here. I'm on my way to work. I'm not driving currently. And let you know that yes, I'm back in nursing. I'm currently doing pediatric home health care. which involves going into someone's home, taking care of their medically challenged child. I'm working with one family right now. I used to work with two, but I couldn't balance the schedule. So I work part-time to full-time with them. I go in, I take care, I do all the medical care, obviously, as well as bathing, feeding, dressing, all the things. So we play and have a lot of fun. It's actually a lot of fun. I miss working with kids. I miss being with kids. The family has other kids that I hang out with as well, and I really enjoy it. So I just wanted to come on here and let you know and answer your questions about if I'm back in nursing. I'm headed off to work and I don't want to be late. So, bye.
So here's some of the comments. I pray that one day you'll forgive your kids and make amends. Life is short. She says, there's nothing to forgive. I love them all. That is okay. That is such a weird comment to me, though. Like, so Hannah started speaking to her other siblings like a few years ago, right? Well, she has since started like making amends with her mom a little bit. Kate did go to Hannah and Colin's graduation, but she was not there for Colin. She was there for Hannah. She took pictures with Hannah. She did not take pictures with Colin. She did not even speak to Colin at Colin's graduation. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to put myself in this position. Like, say Colin did do something that was devastating as a 12-year-old, say he did something really bad. Well, then there would be a need for forgiveness. Or like if he asked for it, like, I pray you will forgive your kids. I would be like, you know what? I pray that we can get to that point too, where maybe he will ask forgiveness. I can forgive him and we can move on. So if you don't feel like there's any need for him to ask for forgiveness so you can forgive, then what did he do? Like, I'm so confused by that. I love them all. Okay, you love them all, but you don't speak to Colin still. Colin has voiced several times on like entertainment news, on Vice, that he would like to talk to his other siblings and even try to repair his relationship with his mom to some degree. So I'm very confused by that. Like, oh, there's nothing to forgive. I love them all. Yeah, but you don't even speak to him. You don't even speak to him. That's such a weird response when you have a child that you haven't spoken to in 7 years, who has been vocal that he would like for you guys to speak. That's just, I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And then another comment, why are you always sending everyone away? And that comment is because in another one of her TikTok videos, she is sending her dog to camp for 2 weeks. She has a dog and she's sending the dog off for 2 weeks for training. So there were several comments like that. There were several comments like, wow, all you do is send people off. All you do is send people away. You send your son off and you send your dog away. There was several of those. Sends her kids away so she doesn't need to deal with him. Sends her dog away so she doesn't need to deal with her. I see a pattern. Victoria says, what if he did something like Josh Duggar and Kate is not saying to protect him? I've considered that, which I struggle to even say that publicly because I don't want that to be like a narrative if it's not true. But I also ask myself, okay, well, Hannah moved in. Hannah has lived with him. And Hannah has never said, like, would Hannah not have known? Would have been kept top secret? As the other kids grew up, what the other kids have never said. Hannah and her siblings, they started talking years ago. So, like, would that not be something that they shared with her? Like, hey, like, we know you're close with Colin, and we know he wants to have a relationship with us again. Well, listen, this is what. Yeah, and that was a big issue. Colin did not want to film. Colin did not like filming. He did not like the pictures. If you look at pictures of Colin when he was young, he's like always like off in the side of pictures, like off to the side. So many pictures you can find of him, like, it was very obvious he didn't like filming. Another one, imagine fighting to get nursing for your child and then Kate shows up. Whoop. How do you keep your nursing license after admitting your own child to a residential facility without a diagnosis? She says, you can't be serious. No one gets admitted anywhere without a diagnosis, and that is not true. First off, that don't even make sense. And as a nurse, first off, I know firsthand, like my mom, like worked at the sheriff's department, and that was her job. She would transport people to mental health facilities, and they usually and I have a cousin who is a mental health nurse practitioner, and I've talked to her about stuff. And she said, you know what? She said, I don't even focus too much on a diagnosis for a while. I just focus on the symptoms and the medications that I know to treat the symptoms. And the diagnosis, like, usually comes later because so many mental health illnesses overlap. She said, so many of them overlap, and it's so hard to diagnose because there's so many that overlap. So I'm very like, it's like nobody gets admitted into the hospital without a diagnosis. What? It's actually like backwards. That's backwards. If I can't breathe and I go into the hospital, I don't know what my diagnosis is before I go. I go tell them my issue and then they diagnose me. And as that's even the same as, you know, in a mental health facility. Like I know people that's been and they don't even like they're not even too concerned with diagnosing. They're just concerned with treating the symptoms. And two, it's just like trial and error with even medication. Like, okay, they got these symptoms. Let's try this medication. I've asked, like, what is the diagnosis? Somebody that I know, what is the diagnosis for this person? Like a family member. And she's like, I'm not too concerned with the diagnosis right now. I'm just trying to, treat the symptoms. So does that make sense to y'all? Like, you can't be serious. No one gets admitted anywhere without a diagnosis. So who's diagnosing him before he goes to the hospital? Who's diagnosing him? Because even like a hospital, I guess if she's seeing his pediatrician could diagnose him, but most pediatricians are not mental health doctors. They're just pediatricians. And they will send you to a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever, and maybe they would have diagnosed. But if you watch Vice, and John did an interview not too long ago, and I just watched it like over the weekend, where he said when he got to the facility and he said, what is his diagnosis? They said, oh, he doesn't have one. Now, that's if you want to believe John. John said when he got to the facility to see Colin, he said, what is his diagnosis? And they said, well, he doesn't have one. And he's like, he's been here over a year and he don't have a diagnosis. So I don't know if I believe that. And the fact that she's a nurse, you guys tell me if y'all have any different experiences than I have with that. The next comment, one of the next. I'm sorry. I just can't understand why you didn't visit him in the facility. Also, why didn't you bring his siblings to visit him? It just seems so cruel. There's so much you don't know about this subject. Until you do, you can't possibly understand someone else's decision. Right. The other children are not estranged from Hannah anymore. They were for a few years, but yeah, they talked to Hannah. So my thing is like, okay, there's so much you don't know about the subject until you do. Well, do you plan to share it? Like, because Colin has told his side, John has told his side, Hannah has told her side of the version of events that took place. So, like, do you plan on it? It's like, until you do, well, does that mean you plan on telling it? That was a video that I put up. Couldn't you do the same for your child that needed help? Bring in help rather than sending him away. So they're like, you know what? As a nurse, you go out, you help people with mentally handicapped children and children that, mental health conditions. You go take care of their kid to relieve the parents and you tend to their medical needs. So why couldn't you do that for Colin? Why couldn't you bring someone in? And she says, no, that's not how those sort of medical psych things, that's not how those sort of medical psych things are safely handled. Sadly, I had no other choice. you didn't want to discard one of them. I think that was talking about the dogs again. Because you discarded one of your kids, you don't want to discard one of the dogs. So she got several comments of people like, "Girl, what are you doing back here? Like, why did you not go visit him? Why did you do that to him? Of course, you're sending your dog away. You sent your kid away. Blah 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 blah." Now I will say though, she also got a lot of good comments. I really thought she would get way more hate. And I looked at her page again today. Not that I'm saying I want her to get hate, I'm not saying I want her to get hate, or not. I was just assuming like, oh, she's gonna get her butt handed to her, which she has in a sense, but she also has gotten a lot of support as well. Yeah, which I thought, oh wow, wowzers. Cooking with Kate, new show. Love this. I would eat what Kate brings to potluck because I know she's got good kitchen hygiene. One thing I love is Kate never does anything the lazy way. She does what's best, even if it's more. Kate is a food safety girl like me. Sure am. Love that she's unbothered by her ex and just keeps thriving. I wonder if she commented about this. She hearted it. The person said, I love that he had to make a video stating that he was blocked. LOL. I mean, they have adult children. She doesn't want anything to do with him. Her choice, and she wants to just live her life. I love her current content. It's fun to watch. Say what you want about Kate, but she always gives it her all. She's far from lazy, that's for sure. Do I have a dog? No. But did I watch the whole video? Yes. Love your content. You're a natural influencer. I don't even have dogs, but I love watching how organized and precise you are. Thank you for this. I never saw myself doing it, but Mika helped me dive in and get started, and I'm loving it. I love this chapter of Kate. I don't care what y'all say. Can you show us how to make? So literally, I mean, when her first video did have a lot of like backlash, but the more she puts out, she's getting like a lot of support, and I was shocked by that. I was like, oh wow, I really thought there would be more nuts support. All right, and then John did a video yesterday.
Just found out.
Kate blocked me. And I think what happened with Kate blocking him is someone tagged John to Kate's page. So he was getting tagged. So he clicked on it and saw that he was blocked.
Just found out. Someone actually did block me. It was my ex. I can't see anything. Not like I was looking or anything. But I find it very interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, I guess. I don't know. At this point, it's like you
Guys,
haven't been
I get this question a lot.
You guys haven't been together in forever. I don't know. If I made a TikTok page and I haven't been with you in 7 years, am I going to go through the process of blocking you, or am I not even going to think about it at first unless I see that you're watching me, then I might be like, block, But yeah, you guys, so she did get hate her first video she put up, and she's still getting some throughout the other ones, but she's also getting a lot of support. And somebody was like, oh, I would love to see you back on TV. And she said, you just might get your wish, with a winky face. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what it means. So you guys, what do you guys think about that? And this all happened over the weekend. I can't imagine having this kind of hatred for your own child. If God forbid something were to happen to Colin, Kate would make a big dramatic scene. Her as the grieving mom. Yeah. Kate was so bossy and controlling to John, the way she treated him, disgusting. I remember she told John not to breathe so loud. And okay, yes, she did. And what's crazy is I watched that clip over the weekend. Over the weekend, I watched that clip where they were together and they're sitting on the couch, and John is literally like, you can't hear him breathing. I watched it like 10 times. And she's talking and she goes, oh my God, can you stop breathing so loud? And she goes, he's over here like, and I'm like, and John looks at her like, because his mouth is closed. He literally was not like, so I kept watching it to see, like, can I even see if he's breathing? And it's funny because Colin went live the other night on TikTok, and Hannah and John did as well. So if you guys go follow them on TikTok, make sure you have your notifications on. You might catch them live. But Hannah and John were live on TikTok, and John leaned over Hannah like this and was like talking. And she goes, "Oh my God, you're breathing so," or she was like, "Oh my God, can you not breathe so?" And then somebody off the camera was like, "Oh my God, Hannah, you just said it. You just said it. And she was like, "Oh my goodness." She's like, "Well, you're kind of breathing loud." So it was really funny because, and then people in the comment section was like, "Well, maybe he does kind of breathe loud." In the video from their reality show, I mean, he's just sitting there like his mouth is not even open. So it literally, I'm like, I don't know. You couldn't hear him in his mic. He was mic'd up, couldn't hear him. But Kate just acted like he was breathing so loud. And then him and Hannah go live, and Hannah's like, "Can you please not breathe so loud?" It was really funny. Um, that's what I didn't understand. If Colin was so bad, why didn't she contact John and be like, "Hey, can you, like, do you think you can help me?" Yes, here is a picture of some of the kids for their 21st. So there's the other 4 of the sextuplets. Aiden, Joel, what is their names? Aiden, Joel, Alexis. Hold on. Leah. So Alexis and Leah, Aiden and Joel. And I know this one is Alexis, and I couldn't even remember her name a while ago. But Alexis is the one on in between the girl and the boy right here. You not see that? See my mouse? No. So boy right here in the gray shirt at the end, and then Alexis is right there in the middle, and then Leah is the one on the inside of the table. Yes, she was a nurse before the kids were born. Oh, and the thing about it, and this is just from what I heard on Vice, this is just what I heard on the documentary. What he said was that the media bashed him as a cheater. Kate knew he was not cheating. Kate knew they were separated. Kate knew that she was messing with somebody already. But rather than Kate coming out saying, "Listen, neither one of us, like, he's not cheating, I'm not cheating, we've been separated. The show is just behind. What you guys are watching now happened a year ago. We've been split up." She never come out to correct that. She allowed the media to think that he cheated. That's what he said. Remember, she had a falling out and didn't speak to her brother and sister-in-law either? Yeah. So, yeah, as of right now, she's making several TikToks. I mean, she don't seem half bad if you go watch her TikToks. Like, I mean, she's taking care of dogs, cooking for her dogs, you know. This is where she said, like, "Hey, guys, this is my real account. I'm just waiting for them to verify me."
This is actually me and my account. I just wanted to come on here really quick and let you know that this is
Her volume's really low.
I'm just waiting for TikTok to verify me. So if you're wondering if you're checking me out, and I don't blame you because I do it too, know that it is my account, and there's going to be a lot of dogs on it and kids, but mostly dogs and me. I'm in my German Shepherd dog mom era. Is that how they say it? You know what I mean. Anyway, it's me. Just wanted to let you know. Thanks.
I do remember when the media was reporting that she had an affair with her bodyguard. I don't know if she did or not. I'm not sure. Yes, I will be going live on TikTok soon. My life has been extremely busy. Extremely, like, I finally even got time today to do a live, and then my internet was like off and on all day, off and on all day. And then right as I was about to go live, it shuts down again. And thankfully, the tech guy showed up and like gave us something new right before I started. But yes, I will be going live on TikTok. My kids started school today, so probably not tonight, but maybe I will post before I go live on TikTok. I will make a post on my community tab. I will post on my Facebook page. I'll post on my Instagram. So I'll post everywhere before I go live on TikTok. But I will be doing a TikTok live soon. Colin said he was going to write a book. I think he should. I definitely think that he should. Well, she did send one of the dogs to camp. One of her dogs is in camp right now. I joined TikToks. Hey, thank you. Oh, well, did you join? Did you join to follow me? If you did, thank you. If you joined, just to join, congratulations. You're over on TikTok with us. If you haven't followed me, follow me. He was really little, and sometimes little boys try and experiment with A because they don't understand that it's not appropriate. If that's what it is, I hope that isn't, but what else is it? Oh, wow. Why do I feel like I've heard something about that, but not for sure? I saw the picture of their first day of school. I did. Anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. Go follow Colin. Go follow Kate if you want to. Go follow John if you want to. John is getting married, and he was asked if he was going to send his other children an invite, and he said, yeah, of course. He said, I will definitely send them an invite. They are my children. It will be their decision if they want to come, but I hope that they will. I'm gonna tell you, this is my thing with like whatever he did. If it was like physical, like if he like beat up a kid. Well, we saw like one of the older twins, was it Maddie? One of the older twins were like rough, got on to the kids, was mean to the kids, hit the kids. So Maddie was pretty rough, but we never saw her getting in trouble the way we saw Colin getting in trouble. Maddie wasn't sent to no behavioral hospital, despite the fact that she was rough. But say he did. Say he went through a stage where he just had so much anger and he was beating up on kids or whatever. He was 12. She sent him away when he was 12. And he said before that, he was already separated from the kids. And she would put him in the basement. He said she zip tied his hands and feet. That's wild to even comprehend, but just say, he gets sent away at 12. So when did he start, attacking his siblings or what? But I'm like, okay, that was 12 and before. At 18, 19, 20, 21, at this point he's 21, I would be like, okay, am I the same person when I turned 21 or when I turned 18? Was I the same person as a 12-year-old? No. He's grown up. He graduated. He does seem pretty well for himself. He tried to join the Marines, but he couldn't because like it came back some mental health stuff that he had not disclosed or whatever. And he wants to have a good life. He wants to make something of himself. So if I was his mom, this is just me, and that's what it was that he had, physically back 12, 10, 11, 12, I would see who he is today and say, you know what, I want to meet with him. I want to give it a chance. I want to give it a shot. See if he is different. I doubt at 20 years. I mean, Hannah's lived with him for the past 7 years. And she and him are super close. She hasn't complained about anything. There was the one incident where he called the police on John and said that John hit him. And John talked about that in an interview and said, when they got Colin back, Colin had a lot of trauma. He had been in a facility for a year and a half, not seeing any family, no parents, no siblings, nothing. He was left there. So when he got him back, he had trauma from that. So he said, yes, like Colin did have some outbursts at times. And at this point, this day he had an outburst and he had to like restrain Colin or whatever. And Colin called the cops and said that his dad had hit him. But Colin recanted that and said, my dad didn't hit me. it was me acting foolish. And John said, yeah, I never hit him. He was having an outburst. But I'm like, of course he's going to have mental health conditions. But anyways, you guys, I got to go. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Hello.